It's 10:47 here in Mallorca. I'm on holiday, and yeah, hope we're all doing really well. What a frustrating afternoon. I don't know if any of you saw the match today. Um, really frustrating today. We can get into that really on what you all think about that today. I'd love to get your opinion if you're an Arsenal fan as to what you think about today. Um, what you think about. Do you think United were the better team? Do you think we were improved? I'd love to know kind of what you think or your thoughts are on the match today. Um, I'll give you my opinion on the match today. Rambo Waters, glory, Man United. Danny B, big up JB. Sound is very low. Is that better? I don't know if that's any better. Um, all good. Oh, cool. Um, where should we start? Really? So I think we can. I think one of the positive things to say was that we played much better today. Now, I will hold my hands up on this one and say that when I saw the team lineups, Luke Shaw, Mason Mount, Binder in goal, Binder, as we know correctly, we all saw what we saw, right? So the back three, Luke Shaw for me, I called him out. I thought Luke Shaw had a good game. Then we had a Delo. Delo was average for me. Not really great. Casemiro, Bruno, and then Mount, Cunha, and Mbama. So Cunha playing up top. Amen's in goal and Shesko starting. We win today. We'll come on to that. Lemens definitely, but Shesko will come on to that as well. So I think there's a lot of stuff to be said. I think there's a lot of positives to be said. So I think maybe we'll talk about positives first, and then we'll go on to the negatives, which I think there are lots of. Right? Yes, I was worried as soon as I saw Shaw starting and being as soon as I seen them, I was worried. One of the things I said before the match was today's going to be Amorin. We're going to see Amorin's system. Today's going to be an Amorin coach game, and what we're going to have to see from that today was tactics. And I like what I saw today. I'm not going to lie. As soon as Arsenal scored, there's somebody in the chat saying Amorin out already. Fine, but today wasn't on the manager. Today you could argue that some of the selections, but what's he supposed to do, right? So I agree. Hesty13 says, I thought Arsenal looked ordinary today. So let's go through some of the positives. Andreas Franson, really good performance today. We need a sharper in the final third. Keeper is a disaster. We need a new one before the window closes. Andreas, I agree with you completely, my friend. 100% agree with you. So let's talk through the positives. I thought the system worked really well today. There was definitely a system in play today. Today was on the board exactly that. I thought we played extremely well today. I'm still going to say this: down the middle of the park, all of Arsenal's attacking play was through the middle. Casemiro for me, but we'll come back to that. Formation-wise, I like what we did against Arsenal. You have to bear in mind they finished second last season. Arsenal are no mugs, as we saw today. Defensively, brilliant. I think in Burmo and Cunha for me was magnificent. Cunha's display today I thought was brilliant. I loved what Cunha did today. I think Cunha is fantastic. I'm from Canada and can't understand 40% of what you were saying. Well, Pythagorean, it's not much I can really say, my friend. I don't know what you want me to say. I'll try and speak more clear for you. But sadly, there's not much I can really do. But as I always say, welcome to the chat. Obviously, be as respectful as you possibly can to the chat. These are legends of the chat in here. So Tulip Play, legend of the chat, to say JB. Pythagorean, I'm from the UK. I'm from Essex, but I'm on holiday in Menorca right now, so I'm away. Hence, that's why you can see there's a pool. There's a pool just there. United played well today. This is what I've said. Keeper is crucial sign. Exactly. I agree with you completely on that one. I think we've all been saying that, right? So positives today. I thought when Burmo is fitter, he looks dangerous. I like the difference. Amorin defended, also at press conference, but we all know he's got to defend him. Hesty, I don't blame him for doing that. I think he has to defend him, right? Anana's clearly not in the team, is he? I think we're trying to push him out. I thought Mason Mount today played well. He still, for me, needs fitness. He's not, I like what he did today. Give us another 3 months, guys. I feel like we'll be up there with the rest. And Rambo, this is it now. What I want to see now is a follow up to this performance, right? I want to see Fulham. Today was good. Today was fantastic. And we can talk about Arsenal and we can talk about them as well, right? But we played against the team who finished second last season and we outran them. I think that run is just about. But we were better than them. They had nothing. Gyökeres looked ordinary. Gyökeres looked absolutely ordinary. Saka had nothing today. Odegaard pulls the strings. I didn't feel threatened by them at all, only from corners. I mean, there were a couple of times where they sort of had the ball, but they did nothing with it at all. I think Rambo. I think today was a case of Arsenal weren't expecting that. I think we made them look bad, but they weren't great. Let's be honest about this, right? That wasn't Arsenal today. I think that I was surprised with the amount of possession that we had. But I think Andreas is right. I think we need to keep this up now. So today, it was a sort of a free hit today, right? But we've now got to keep this up. We've lost the game. We now need to keep this up. So we needed a striker to stay up front. Negativity-wise, so let's talk about that today. Striker-wise up front, you can't buy goals. This is what I think we've done. Glinios, sign a keeper. Exactly. We need a midfielder and a keeper. And today we win that game. We win that game completely. They definitely did not expect us to play the way that we did. I was really shocked, really shocked. As I said, I will hold my hands up and I will say that I saw that team very much like we saw against, I think it was West Ham or Bournemouth, and we played this way, right? I thought we played extremely well today. I thought we were so unfortunate, but when you play against one of the best defences in the league, this is my point. Okay, is that when you've got Arsenal and take Mark ter Stegen from us for free, I think I'll pass on him because I think he's quite injured, isn't he? But this is what I mean about good teams, right? So even when good teams are not playing their best, they have an attribute in their team that get them across the line, right? So with Arsenal, nothing in the midfield, nothing up top, but they've got one of the best defences in the league. And this goes to what we're all saying about buying a goalkeeper. If you can have a back four that is solid and they're not going to concede goals, then that is half the battle. And that's why Arsenal won today, was because of their back four. Their back four, were magnificent, right? Raya was great today. This is what happens when you have a good keeper. I think our back three, are fine. But you put a decent goalkeeper in that today, Arsenal were made to look ordinary today. 153 watching. Exactly. Give us a like, favourite and subscribe, guys. Get into this chat if you're an Arsenal fan. We don't mind the banter. Just be respectful to people in the chat. Last time they came to Old Trafford, they slapped us about in every department. That was not the case today. I'm genuinely feeling very confident. So am I. I'm so surprised Arsenal didn't batter us despite the results. This is what fans wanted to see, put in the good fight, and this is what we got. What's Kevin saying? Portuguese. Agreed. I think this is what we were saying, right? Is that we all know, and we've all wanted this. I know we all wanted a coach to come in, right, and coach, despite Ineos, and the Glazers basically trying to sabotage him. You look at what he's done to this team already, and this is why, as a coach, this is why I think we've said on here, and other people have their opinions. You've got Mark who comes in here, and he's a legend of the chat, and everyone's going to have their opinions on this, right? This is why Amorin needs time. This is why it's important to give the manager time. This is what we've said on here. This is what I've said on here many times. Is that Amorin needs that opportunity, and I think today he showed that as a coach, what he can do with this team. This team is limited. It is. But what I saw today from the likes of Luke Shaw, I'm not Luke Shaw's biggest fan, but I will support him. I'll big him up. If he has a good game and he stays fit, I genuinely will big him up. And I thought today he was good today. It's probably his best game he's had in a while. Mason Mount, again, my only problem with Mason Mount is that he hadn't played for 2 years. He's still not back to the Chelsea Mason Mount, but today he did some brilliant things. He did some absolutely fantastic things. Fernandes, for me, I do. Mason Mount looks fitter. What he needs to get is match sharpness. I think that's what. And you guys said it. You guys said it in the chat, and I went against some of you in the chat. And this is why I love doing this. Right? Is I give my opinion on stuff, and I wasn't bigged up on Mason Mount. You guys said to me, "No, you watch Mason Mount. He's going to be good this season." And I was just like, "No." And you guys are right. Like Mason Mount, we need to manage his minutes. But Mason Mount, plugs, spot on, 100% spot on. He hasn't got back that killer instinct yet. 100%. He's getting back. It feels to me, if he can get fit and get some game time under his belt, I think you're spot on, my friend. I think you're 100% spot on. Once he gets that fitness back and then he starts playing football more, I fingers crossed, because I like Mason Mount. I thought he did really well today. Really surprised. Dorgu for me. We can talk about the team. So what we'll do is let's go through the team. I'll give you my scores on the doors, and then you can basically tell me what you think. Hey, Hesty, my hope is they can keep up this consistency and not just against big teams. Exactly that. So I think every game now is going to be a lesson as to what we think we can do. Fulham, we need to win that game. Looking at Amorin's record today, he's played 28, lost 7, and last season doesn't really mean a lot, but those people who are Amorin out, look at that record, and that is atrocious. But this is why he needs to start winning these games. What have we got? Players, if we play like that every game, we'll beat most teams. Sign Lemens in it, Listen or Louise. Yeah, agreed. I actually think we probably need 2 midfielders and another striker. That's not going to happen. But I do think if we play like this every week, there's not many teams that's going to be able to stop that. And you need to bear in mind that Mbermo isn't fit yet. When he gets fully fit, Cunha, who can drive with the ball, Mbermo with that pace and getting behind, it's going to be devastating. Facts, time management, we win that game. Syrian says we could have started with Shesko. Striker present was missing in the first half. Yeah, we needed a striker. Shesko, no, he needs game time. I think Amorin did the right thing today. When he came on, he didn't. It's hard. It's hard to get into a game like that, isn't it? I mean, Gyökeres had a pre-season. Gyökeres played from the start. Gyökeres looked ordinary. What's interesting is that Ekitike, of all the strikers, and I didn't really think much of him. Maybe just because he's come into a good side. He looks probably the best out of those 3. Gyökeres looked ordinary today. Didn't see anything of him today. I don't think he did a lot today. What have we got? Andreas, 1 game will help us. Yeah, agreed. I think 1 game a week will help these these sort of players like Mason Mount and Shaw. Shaw today looked accomplished, and I'll go through my scores as well. I think Ahmed and Burma can't play together. Shesko playing first half, and Shesko on the bench, Delow and Burma kept crossing. Shesko and Ahmed comes onto play. Ahmed preferred dribble. You make a good point there. You make a good point because Ahmed's still quite selfish. When you look at the plays from last season, Ahmad still got a selfishness in his game. Or when he had a couple of shots, he does a good couple of things. But if he could cross more, and Amorin's not going to like that. If you have just joined, please don't forget to like, favourite, and subscribe. It literally costs you nothing to do. Really helps the channel out and just get into this amazing chat. A book at Anti says, I blame the manager from the start. How are you playing Arsenal and you put in Cunha as a 9? That is a huge mistake. I can see why you'd. I agree that the team selection is on the manager, but if you look at how we played against Arsenal today, it's nothing to do with having a striker up front. You could argue against that and say that, okay, if we'd have played Shesko, would he have scored in the first half? I don't know. I think it's difficult to say. When he came on, I can't say Shesko impressed me that much when he came on, if I'm honest. Should he play from the start? Probably not. I don't think not having a striker was the reason why we didn't win that game today. I think not having a meeting an Arsenal defence and a good goalkeeper is the reason why we didn't score today. I wish we'd have taken our chances more, but the reason why we didn't score today was because Arsenal's back four are fantastic. They are probably one of the best defences in the league, two of the best centre-back pairings in the league. And other than that, they did nothing at all today. Other than a mistake from us, they literally did nothing today. So I respect that opinion. I'm not saying that you're wrong, and I think it's preference as to how you watch a football match. My opinion was today that it's just become up against a really good back four, two centre backs and a keeper. And even if we had a striker, I'm not sure we would have scored in that game. So, again, valid opinion. My God, you lot are shite. Luke Harrison, how do you reckon so, mate? We outplayed Arsenal, so I don't know how you can say that, my friend. You're welcome here in the chat if you want to back that up. You look at all the stats today, I think you find that we outplayed Arsenal, outshot them, outpassed them, outpossessioned them, outran them in a lot of positions. They had absolutely nothing. The only goal they scored was because of a keeper pushed it in the back of his own net. So, Luke, you're talking at your arse, mate. Yeah, typical, isn't it? Somebody comes on, gets called out, and then they take their message off. One thing I've noticed at the game so far is pre-season we looked harder to beat. I think fitter Rambo. I do think we look much fitter. Today I was really impressed by even the likes of Mason Mount, how actually fit he looks. Shesko wasn't ready. Yeah, agreed. I don't think he was. I think he was. Yeah, he doesn't look fit. Amorin definitely knows how to deal with Lloris. Exactly, Hesty. De Ligt, I thought, was man of the match today. De Ligt was absolutely magnificent today. Now, not because I think Arsenal were prolific up front, but everything about his game today, it just typified what I've been asking for. Attitude, presence. I thought it was great. Page says Arsenal. Yeah, I take it you're an Arsenal fan. Welcome here in the chat, my friend. As I say, as long as we are all respectful, I don't mind the banter. Okay. Yeah, Arsenal. I'm sorry, mate. Arsenal were rubbish today. You look at Man City, you look at Liverpool. You're nowhere near their levels. You've got the striker now that you need. Now, Ekitike's come in. You look at what he's done for Liverpool already. Gyökeres looks ordinary. Gyökeres looked really off the pace, ordinary today. I know you got a win. I can't say much more than that. I think your defence got you the win today. You got one of the league's best defences, and it showed. You won a game. you won. There's not really much I can more to say than that. But well done to you lot. You managed to win, um, but you were outplayed, and you were the second best team, which pleases me. Obviously, we need a win, but I can't really say much, other than congratulations today. And the only issue is he doesn't get his head up. I agree with that. You played well, didn't create. Yeah, I thought we played well. It's not we didn't create the chances. Saliba was too good. Your back centre back pairings and your back four and your keeper are brilliant. Like they're really good. Like you know, we had sighters. Dorgu hit the post, but Arsenal, we know that your back four is so good. So I take a lot of confidence from that. But ultimately, when you come up against one of the best defences in the league, well, what can you do? There's nothing you can do against that. So I thought Arsenal's, their back four are decent. The centre back pairing, it says a lot when your goalkeeper was the man of the match. So, and that doesn't happen to Arsenal a lot. So whether Arsenal still need a couple of weeks to adjust, interesting, but I thought we were the best team today. So Robert Waters, I've started him. More height presence, yeah, he's 6'5", isn't he? Let's hope it's not the same old story. Anthony, I agree with you, mate. We need to follow this up with a win. Edwin Moore says, how does the better team lose, mate? It happens in life, doesn't it? It happens, you can be, in these close games, this is why we all said we needed a goalkeeper, right? In these close games, that's what happens, when you're playing the better team. But when you've got a team who has, one of the best defences in the league, you have to be, and this is what Arsenal do so well, because their back four is so good that anything else, they could have an off day, but they can still win or still draw, and that's what they just don't get beat. Better team, but one of those days, wasn't it? What if the Niners secretly a clinical striker? Stick him up front, mate. Stick him up front. Disrespectful troublemakers will get dealt with. Exactly. Well done, Chile. You control, but be respectful to our club and to Alex. Yeah. I think I missed that. So well done to for picking that up. You're gonna get these wallies in the chat. Edinmore, one game and United are back. Looked like one game and you looked like you played the ref and you had Tom Daly as your new coach. Edward Moore, I'm thinking is that an insult? Some sort of banter thing there. I can't really say much. What you got to appreciate, mate, Edward, is that we were so terrible last season. We finished 15th, right? So Edward, I don't know who you support. If you're an Arsenal, like a man or whatever else, that's cool. Welcome here, my friend. But what you got to understand is that we finished 15th last season. We've still got the same team pretty much, other than 3 players. We've loaned 1 player out, and yet over a summer we've come back and we played Arsenal off the park. No one's saying that we're back. No one's saying that we're the best team in England. We are the biggest team in England, whether people like that or not. That's tough shit, really. We are, and I'm not saying we're back, but we played Arsenal off the park today. No, we didn't just. It wasn't just like Arsenal played well in some bits. They didn't know what to do for a lot of the game. Saka was made to look ordinary. Gyökeres was made to look ordinary. We played them off the park. That's one game. So I don't think we're saying we're back, but what we're saying is we're getting beyond this team. We're getting beyond this manager. We're getting behind this coach. So after one pre-season, first game back, and we play Arsenal off of the park. So we're not saying we're back. We're just saying that after last season, which was so terrible and abjectly disgusting, we're not back. We're just playing better, and that's all we want, my friend. And he says we really need to solve the keeper issues in the corner because that's exactly. I couldn't agree more with you, my friend. Rasmus is going to go, but yeah, look, uh, yeah, I didn't see that, mate. I mean, people on here are going to be mean and horrible. That's what that's what they are, right? People love a little bit of banter. People have a little bit of Sunday night anger, don't they? So, yeah, it's just ridiculous. How can you tell a winger that's used to finishing to play wing back and ask him to cross? Yeah, no, I don't agree. I agree with that. I think that Ahmad's got a lot to learn. I think he's doing well at wing back. His problem is he can't defend. Um, he's not defensive enough. So today, what we need is a Dorgu on the right as well as the left. You know, it's a difficult one with Ahmad. I like him. You're right. He's not a wing back, but he needs time. He does need time, and he's been asked to do a really really difficult job. But he does have that selfish streak in which hopefully we can remove. But he does need time, and I do think that he will come back. It's very hard to go Old Trafford away first game. Your front three looked really dangerous. Bruno normally steps up. Yeah, mate. Honestly, Arsenal today. This is what champions do, right? This is if you want to win a Premier League or you want to win stuff, you've got to be able to come to grounds like ours when we're playing very well and win. And that's what you did. You're other than probably three players in your team, you were ordinary today. But again, it doesn't matter when you've got world class or Premier League best players in your team. That's what you can do. So I just think Bruno today was ordinary today again. But that's what happens with Arsenal. You've got such a good back four, organised. Yeah, great. We had 20 shots to Arsenal's 9. Yep, rare man of the match exactly. Seasoned Arsenal, 60 out of the ball. Same Arsenal fans are delusional with all respect. I think, to be fair, I think any Arsenal fan, I think any realistic Arsenal fan that wants to win the league will come today and say, look, that was a performance that if you want to win a league, that's what you do. You grind these results out when you're not playing well, and it's what we used to do. This is what we used to do years and years ago. Is that we used to have these games and we were awful, and we'd still win it, and that's what Arsenal do. So we know that Arsenal are going to have a better season than us. That's we're not in their league, but if we can compete with Arsenal, what we need to do, we don't need to necessarily worry about games like that. What we need to win are the Fulhams and the Burnleys, not because we want to come down a level, but Arsenal play Liverpool. Those games can swing as well. So we're not in Arsenal's league necessarily. We want to be, maybe we can be at some point today, this year, but what we need to take comfort from today is that we outplayed one of the best teams. Arsenal had that kind of if you win the league performance, scrappy, but they won. They got the job done. They move on. We now need to go to Fulham and try to win that game. I don't think we were terrible, just better today. I think you have a better season this year. Fingers crossed. Anthony says Ahmad, Brian and Brian chemistry, time to understand each other, play well for the passes, crosses to give striker. Yeah, I thought the wide play was good today. I thought the distribution to the wide plays today I thought was really, really good. And I think you're right. They're just good. And I think by game 5 or 6, I think we're gonna be so dangerous. I really do. Facts biggest in England always have been and always will be. Exactly. I can't even pronounce your name, my friend. Abdul Halfiz. I apologise if I've just destroyed your name. Mark Harris, legend of the chat. Been waiting for you, Mark. When Shaw plays, the manager has to go. He's not learning. Same friends, the low Bruno Mount, not learning. Same old. That was my attitude before the game. I'm still not sold long term on those players. And Mark, I partly agree with you, partly I don't agree with you. I think you make a really good point. Let's see. They played one good game today. Let's be logical on this, and let's say if Luke Shaw plays again, Bruno, Delo plays again, let's see how they do. And Mount, let's see how they do over the first 5 games. And as Mark says, the fact we're still players, you know, we're in a bad place. But we we it feels like we won today, but we didn't. So let's see what these players are. And I come out today, and I was like, this team looks awful. But let's see. Mark Harris. He's a very I like. He's the yin to my yang sometimes. But I think sometimes he's really spot on. So I think we just need to figure out what we're doing, and let's just see Luke Shaw play, because they are going to play. So let's see. But Mark has got a point, as always. At this point, play hit and go, being there as much mistakes as Anana. We need to do something, mate. I think no matter what we do, whoever we stick in goal, Heaton. Agree with you. I don't think he can do much worse. Mustafi, Arsenal won today. Wow, but it was a terrible performance. Do you agree with me? Oh yeah, I do. Arsenal were awful today. Gyökeres was terrible today. Um, you know, I get it's the first Premier League game, but like Ekitike, just take him for example. He looks really good already. Arsenal today, I was really surprised. They looked really cold, and this is what I said. It was a good opportunity to catch a cold Arsenal. They do start off cold, and then they build into the season. Arsenal were terrible today, but they got the job done, and that's the mark of future champions. That's the mark of a good team. Is that if you can win like that when you're playing badly against a better team, imagine what you can do when you start to win. We're defo the better team. Arsenal just parked the bus. Arsenal will win. They have easy season. Liverpool already spent 500. Um, I don't think Arsenal will have an easier season. Still got to play the same games. Um, Liverpool are going to take time to gel. I think the difference will be Liverpool and City will, I think, have too many. I think Arsenal, if they play like this for the rest of the season, they're going to get absolutely annihilated. You look at the Bournemouths, you look at, you know, um, Sunderland, was it? You look at some of these teams already this season. United, there is no easy game. I mean, Liverpool, as much as they are a rival right now, they're not, are they? Even though they conceded 2 goals, you look at that team. It pains me to say it. We're not thinking about those. Let's just, I think for now, let's just go for. I think we need to be in and around that fourth and fifth. So for me, I think that City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea looked ordinary as well. Chelsea were not impressed. I generally think if we play like this, we should be aiming for fourth or fifth. Not because necessarily I think we can, but I think there's a real opportunity to get in and amongst this season, as long as we get a goalkeeper and a midfielder. Chief legend of the chat, disappointing. Robert Waters, that's the first time in 3 years I've ever seen Arsenal under so much pressure, very long periods. Yet, agreed completely, mate. I've never seen them play like us. Chief agreed, mate. No, Chief understand it, my friend. Yeah, he did, mate. He definitely effed us up today. That was a close game. And as we said, as I said before the game started, and yesterday, with these tight games where we can't score, and if you look back, I've said it as well, in the tight games where you're having possession and possession and possession, I'm going to have to find the clip where I said you're going to have possession, 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 you can't score, you can't score, and they go up the other end and score a goal. And that's what happened today. It just so happened to be against Arsenal. I never would have thought that. But you're right. That's what happened to us today. We had all the possession, the better team, and they have one chance. They scored, and that's all they need. And yeah. Mosquito Network, Gyökeres will flop. Arsenal were just lucky, plus race performance, or else it would have been a nightmare for them. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. But they are a seasoned Premiership team. Let's be open about this. Ultimately, we had a really really good game. Next time we play Arsenal, they won't play like that. But we had an opportunity today. Should we have played a striker? I don't know. But they did. We were a nightmare for them today. I think we shocked a lot of people today. But again, it's one game. We need to then continue that. This is what we now need to do. Continue. Liverpool won the league last season when Arsenal came second. Roy Keane was right. He was getting bullied. Do you think he has a chance to win the league title this season? What, Amorin? No. No chance, my friend. Liverpool can be Liverpool City. Arteta, Arsenal aren't going to win the league this season. It's hard. It's hard after one game, right? I think you can only really start judging it after the first 10 games. Right now, I'd say no, but Arsenal warm up. Arsenal will come back into it. I think it'll be a three horse race, but right now, do they look as good as City or Liverpool? No. Could they? Probably yes, they will do. But right now, of the teams we've seen so far, I think of the traditional top, top four as it is now, I think City probably look the best. Liverpool looked really good. Chelsea looked average. Arsenal looked average. So for me, probably it's going to be a two horse race. Live a shot. You need character as keeper. Exactly. The flashes. United made Arsenal look bad. Physically, were superior and far more aggressive. Arsenal couldn't cope. Flash. Spot on. Absolutely intelligent comment. Perfect. I think you're absolutely right. Tech chat, for example. Exactly. Rambo Waters, honestly didn't see. Chief Herb, I agree with Arsenal performance could be better, but first game exactly. Dinathan, how's the leaky roof doing? It didn't rain today, so I think it was all right, mate. But come September or October, then maybe we'll have that chat again, right? Yeah, don't even get me started on the ground, my friend. Yeah. Also, don't forget the toilets flood as well. So, yeah, as long as it doesn't rain, then we're all right. Chief Herbs for us is that it's an expectation instead of excuses. A win for Arsenal. So exactly, Arsenal not great, but still won. United are a poor team with no clue. Rob Stanley, Arsenal not great, but United won. United are a poor team with no clue. Robert Stanley, again, welcome to the chat, my friend. That's not a disrespectful thing to say. No, I don't mind other opinions. In the chat, I don't know how you figure that one. Rob Stanley, I don't know. Did you watch the game? If you watched the game, I don't think you did. If you watched the game, then you wouldn't have said that. If you say that, and I'm only going to base this on what I saw today, and factually based on stats, and unless I watch a game with my eyes shut, factually, United were very clued up today. They made Arsenal look very, very ordinary. I get if you don't like the team, that's fine. But to say we were clueless today, you kind of make yourself look a bit silly, to be honest with you. You just make yourself sound salty, and you make yourself look like you don't watch football, because there's nobody that could watch that game today and say Arsenal were a better team and say that United had no clue. Sorry, mate. No, I'm not calling you out on that. I think that's probably most people's opinion. Non-United fans, adult United fans who watch football, we can all banter each other. But I think if you appreciate football and you watch it properly today, that United had a clue. But that is your opinion. If that's how you want to be, you're welcome here, my friend. But I think most people won't agree with you. But that's cool. United might have shown up the next game, but exactly, let's see what we can do. I was happy with the performance. We need to replicate it every game exactly. Gyökeres and Šeško will need time. I agree with you, Chief Herb. Gyökeres, don't care what he does. He can do what he needs to do. Šeško is the one for me. Šeško, he's going to need time. I agree with you. A keeper transform. He does. A keeper will transform this team. I agree with you completely. Even Lament, exactly. I'm happy with Šeško. Exactly. Amorin left Onana out despite being fit. Said Heat and Ambinda were better in training. I'm hoping Onana just goes, mate. I really am. Oh my god. Right. Okay. Ugarte. Oh my god. If you watch it today, Ugarte was terrible. Ugarte was absolutely dreadful today. Of all the players, and I'm going to bring in Luke Shaw, Mason Mount in here as well. Of all the players I've given my opinions on, it was awful today. I can see why Casemiro starts. Imagine, Ugarte's been so bad in training that Casemiro's got no intensity or legs anymore, gets a start over him, and I can see why. Ugarte was terrible today. He was the worst player probably on the pitch. I thought he was awful today. Ugarte for me he's cover at best. He's not a starter, and I can see why. Yeah, he was awful, wasn't he, today? Where I was ton to chats today. Where was Kobe? I agree. Ugarte needed some. Oh, Ugarte was awful today. To be honest, Ugarte almost cost us. He did. Bruno was at fault as well for the first goal. We'll go through the team in a second as well. Bruno was at fault for the first goal because he was in the box. He did the awful pass, and yeah, he did an awful pass which led to the corner. Obviously, it's not his fault that the keeper decided to palm it in his net, but I wasn't convinced by him today. Liverpool FC fan today. I think United were completely up. I think a Liverpool fan here, great. I think United completely outplayed Arsenal today. Shame about the poor decision in the final third. Ishmael, Gerard, you're welcome here, my friend. I thought Liverpool. I think they're going to be there or thereabouts this season again. Even though you conceded two, your squad and your depth is ridiculous. But thank you for saying that. I think we made Arsenal look ordinary today. I don't think Arsenal are going to be anywhere near you this season, my friend. I think Liverpool and City are in their own race this year, right? City, Liverpool in their own race. Kudos to them. You guys have earned that success. City maybe not, but you guys have earned this success, and you're going to go. It's up to us now to catch you up somehow. But I was encouraged today. It would be nice, Ishmael, if when we come to Anfield, we give you a game. That is what I demand, that we beat you. Okay, I want us to beat Liverpool. That's what we should aim to do. But I want to come to your ground and give you a proper game and go toe to toe with you and go, look, this is what we're about now. And that's the sort of game where you want to win, of course. But what we should aim for this season is to try to go toe to toe with the big teams, but we also then need to sort of beat these smaller teams. But I think it's going to be a very, very interesting season, Ishmael. But yeah, Arsenal are nowhere near you guys, so I don't think you've got anything to be concerned about. But JB, notice how calm Bruno is today. Despite some shit passes he was allowed Cunha to cook. Yeah, but Bruno's still erratic. Like, his pass led to the corner. I get it. I do get it. Bruno's not an 8, he's a 10. But Amorin's still trying to shoehorn him into this team. Bruno for me is still a conundrum. I think Bruno right now is like Marmite. I don't think hate is the right word. You either like what he does or you don't. I'm in the camp of, I don't know if he can settle into that team, then fingers crossed. But I don't know. We need a proper number 8. Boris says, yeah, Ugarte was terrible, but most of the top, but most such players when comes in for a game. And you said, yeah, but I don't think that's an excuse, mate. When you play for this club, you've got to come on and you've got to do your job. I get it, but tired of excuses for players. I'm tired of saying, oh, they've come on into a match. Let me tell you a story, right? Is Scholes, so Ollie, right? When he was a striker, Ollie pretty much come on as sub most games. But what Ollie used to do as a player was he used to watch the game and he used to watch all of the game and he used to keep an eye on what player was where and the defender and whatever else, and he'd watch the game and then he'd come on and he'd score a goal, or he'd come on and he'd put a pass through. Like, why isn't Ugarte doing that? I'm not disagreeing with you, but from a different viewpoint, why isn't Ugarte watching the game? Why isn't he coming onto that pitch? I'm tired of giving these players an excuse. If Ugarte comes on and performs like that, then you don't get back into the team. You have to come on and you have to, whatever the level of the player that you're replacing, you have to be equal or better than them. And that's what we demand at this football club, is that we demand these players now keep the levels up. And if you don't, see you later, But I don't disagree with you, but I just think we need better players. Played with good discipline today. Need this every game. I don't disagree. We have enough talent. Only mistake was the terrible pass to Lenny. Yep. Bruno was awful to most of the time as well. And again, this is to my points. So some of you are saying today he was good. Some of you saying he was bad or not up to standard. I was somewhere in between with Bruno. I agree discipline's better. I do agree with that. I agree some of his passing is great, but he's still got that error in him, and he does it in the most awful places. He's still ill-disciplined in some respects. I fall between the two. I right now don't know what Bruno is. It's Amorin's decision. Amorin wants him to play. I just don't know. Do we accidentally discover Bruno's position in terms of, if, say, for example, Mbeumo gets injured and Bruno goes back into that 10 role, doesn't Mbeumo then go to a wing back? I don't know, but right now, Bruno, I just don't know. I just don't know where he is on that one. Ismail has a fair point. I agree. Voodoo Doll Gaming, we didn't deserve the win today. It was pitiful performance, and going off one match so far, it's going to be a long season. Is that, are you an Arsenal fan? Are you an Arsenal fan? Are you a United fan? Because if you are a United fan, I don't agree with that. You've got your opinion. If you watch that game, that again, people watch games in a different way. If you're an Arsenal fan, I agree with you. But as a United fan today, I don't agree with you, my friend. But you're entitled to that opinion. It's going to be a long season. It's going to be up and down, but I think we're going to be okay. We're wasting balls with Bruno in that department. I'm sure Mount and Burma out to do better. Yeah, it's one game. Bruno, I think Bruno just had a standard game. That's what I want from Bruno. I think he did some good stuff. He did some bad stuff. Not bad stuff, but he did, as a performance-wise, I liked it. Steady performance. Didn't really do anything bad, but other than that pass to Euro, that got the corner, I love the balls into the 10s. I agree. I thought the balls into the 10s were brilliant today. I thought they were so good. Euro was my man of the match. I don't disagree with that. He's a good player. The lit Euro for me. Those two. Imagine those two in a back four. I think it'd be amazing. Ahmad will start. Yeah, Chief, I understand. Ruben's trying to protect his plays. He's going to slap the shit out of Binder after that one. I love it. Arda, dude, do you know Ruud van Nistelrooy? I don't know Ruud van Nistelrooy. I've been told I look a bit like Ruud van Nistelrooy with the beard and the hair and the bags under the eyes. But I don't know, my friend. We give Kobe start. Chris is the best striker in the world. Arda, he really isn't. If he plays at Real Madrid, he will be a phenomenal. Yeah, because he'll be in the Spanish league. no disrespect to the Spanish league, mate, but we're talking about the Premier League here. Now, if you want to be the best striker in the world, you come to the Premier League. If you look at Haaland, and I'm going to use Haaland as the example here, right? Haaland played in the Bundesliga, right? He's played in the Norwegian League, Bundesliga, and Premier League. That guy is a phenomenal. Gyökeres is nowhere near that. Haaland, when he came to the Premier League, his first Premier League game was his first games looked better than Gyökeres. Gyökeres is going to take time. Gyökeres is not going to... I think Arsenal fans think he's going to get 30 goals a season. He's not. He really isn't. He's no Haaland. Ekitike looked the best of the striker so far. If he went to the Spanish league, would he score more goals? Probably. Now, Anthony can go to the Spanish league and look good, and Anthony's shit. So, no disrespects, but he's not the best striker in the world. He's not even the best striker in Europe. He was last season, but he played in the Portuguese league. So he's come to the Premier League, and today he got scored. So Gyökeres will take time, but he's not the best striker. He really isn't. He really isn't. KK, we need to drop Bruno to put him in as a 10 and give Kobe. Yeah, so many of you, and the same as me as well. I want Kobe to be given a chance, but we need to get on board with Bruno's going to play every game. I don't wish this. The only way Kobe gets his chance is if Bruno gets injured. That's the only way. I don't like it. You guys don't like it. But that's the only way that Manu gets into this team is if Bruno needs a rest or Bruno gets injured. I'm not a fan of that. That isn't me, but, yeah. What we got? Gyökeres is a ghost at Arsenal. Arda, Gyökeres is the most goal scorer striker in the effing world, mate. Arda, no, he's not. Chill your boots. It's just my opinion. If you believe your opinion, you're entitled to your opinion. I'm not calling your opinion out. You've got a valid opinion. That's your opinion. My opinion is that Gyökeres is not the best striker in the world. Not even the best striker in Europe, in my opinion. He played in the Portuguese league. I would have loved him to have come to us, but I think we've dodged a bullet on that one. Haaland, let me give you an example. Ekitike isn't the best striker in Europe, but he's come and he scored 2 goals, one in the Charity Shield and one yesterday. Okay, Haaland, when he came into this league from the Bundesliga, scored a shit ton of goals. Gyökeres looks well off it. He looks well off it. He's going to be nowhere near. He's going to be maybe after 9-10 games, maybe, but maybe not this season. He's not the best striker in the world, mate. He really isn't. Haaland is. You can argue that Haaland, Mbappe, we're looking at those sorts of plays, but Gyökeres is not the best striker, mate. He really isn't. Bruno is keeping United alive. Not today, he didn't. I agree with you last season. I do agree with that. But not this season. He's not. He's going to be playing in this team, but he's not all about this team anymore, which I'm thankful for. We need to drop Bruno. KK, we need to drop Bruno. I don't disagree. Low Arda. Gyökeres didn't even record a single shot today, exactly. We dominated the midfield. Bruno made one bar pass. I thought he played fine. We just need a better 6 behind him. Again, I think I fall somewhere in between what I liked and what I have said. I can't be like a hypocrite on this. Is that I want normal displays from him, and I want him to be disciplined, and that's what we got for most of the game. He still has an ill discipline in him, but you're right, Julep. I do like his discipline, more disciplined displays, and if we get a good number 6, I think this could work with him in there. Don't hype him up too much. Looking chubby on his debut. Meanwhile, I hear Haaland joking. Exactly. Exactly. Arda had the chance. Nunes, I'm sure of it. Trump 2028. Jesus Christ Almighty. Honestly. It's not a a bad thing to say, but honestly, what do you think I'm going to do with Trump? Honestly, I don't get it. I mean, your politics is your politics, right? But yeah, I mean, yeah, I just don't get it. Um, and Anthony is oh, go Anthony's a goat. He plays like a goat. That's probably what I've got. Joker's got cooked by an 18-year-old today. That's true. Haaland scored 4 in his first game in Premier League. So you're talking, yeah, agree with you. I think Anthony is a Man U problem player, mate. He's really talented. Arda, um, let me tell you, right, Arda, right, is that when Eric Ten Hag bought him, right, when Eric Ten Hag doesn't play the player that he brought from Ajax here, and he wanted him, sanctioned buying him for all that money, and Eric Ten Hag, who brought him into the club, doesn't play him, tells you everything you need to know. And then when he goes to the Spanish league, he suddenly looks good in the Spanish league. And it's no, and I'm not saying, and I don't like when people call Spanish league or the French league like the Farmers League. I don't think that's the case, but it's not as good as the Premier League. And Anthony's not a Premier League player. He just isn't. The Premier League is the best league in the world, full of the best teams in the world. You can argue that top Spanish teams, maybe the top Portuguese teams, the top teams in each of the leagues could compete in the Premier League, but the depth isn't there. So Anthony, of course, he's going to look good in like the Spanish league. When you're playing the likes of Mallorca and you're playing, all these smaller teams on like islands, but of course he's going to look good, isn't he? But he can't do it against Southampton. He can't do it against Leeds. Anthony is his own problem. It's the fact he's just not good enough for the Premier League. Anthony is GOAT. No, he's not. Anthony spins more than a washing machine. Don't tell that word to you, sir. Just close up business for United. It won't work. I'll go. I got a sneaky feeling, my friend, that you don't like the club, which is cool. He's out of contract. Kobe, I would have sold Bruno. Yeah, I agree with you. KK. Sorry, guys, just going through the chat. Done with Trump. I'm not getting involved in that. I'm from Turkey, but I just think that Gyökeres has a vibe, kind of old strikers, but maybe I'm just wrong. Gyökeres will prove us wrong. Mate, I'm not calling you out. I promise you. And I don't think anybody should call you out for having that opinion. That's your opinion, my friend. You might be proved right, but right now, I think to say he's one of the best strikers in the World League, I think is not proven yet. You might be right at some point, but I don't think he'll be in the first couple of games. Maybe he will in time. I'm glad he's in the league, but if that's your opinion, mate, I think you stick to your opinion, and you might be proved right on that. I'm not here to call you out on that. I'm just giving you my opinion. You might be right, and I might be wrong, but let's give him a couple of games. I have to say, Gyökeres we'll see, but this bloke scoring goals in Portugal and the Championship, don't know, mate. Bruno, yeah, it's the sales. Is that a contract? 95 million is high for Anthony. Maybe just can't hit that transfer fee. Mate, we got done in that deal, mate. We got done, and Anthony, at the end of the day, he's a good football player, right? He's a football player. He must be good. You don't play football. You can argue that there are some bad players out there, but he just needs to find where he belongs. The Premier League is not for him. Maybe just didn't work hard enough. Maybe that's what it is. But ultimately, I do hope he finds his home. I've got nothing against him. Just at the moment, Premier League is not for him. It's good. Gyökeres, exactly. Hello, fellas. Hello, German. We need a good goalkeeper. I agree with you. T Mills, Gyökeres is the next Darwin Núñez. I have to say, Liverpool probably got it right on strikers. Yeah, Ekatike looks awesome. He looks really, really good. Arda says, okay, cool. So let's give you my scores for today, and then you can tell me what you think. All right. So Goalkeeper, so 6 is like average, right? So if we go for the keeper today, I have to give him 4 today. Other than the mistaken goal, I thought his distribution was decent. I thought he kicked okay. He looked comfortable-ish. I thought he was good. So you're a great person to talk about football. Really appreciate it, Arda, my friend. This is what we do here. We are we are we try to be as fair on here as possible. Logic. We won't call you out for having an opinion, as long as that opinion is obviously not racial, or your opinion is not, is not, disrespectful in any way. You know, People are welcome here. Talk about team. I'm not really fussed, but I think that yeah, is so. Best keeper in the world. Yeah, I agree with you. He's a cracking keeper, mate. Liverpool's keeper is great. United are toothless and not clinical. It's overwhelming how you make mistakes at your prime. Yeah, it is. I don't think we're toothless. Can I really argue with that? I don't think we are today. I think we just come up against a really good defence. I mean, Arsenal's defence is fantastic. I do partly agree with you on that one. Arsenal are defensive. They're a good team. I think we do need more attacking plays. But let's see. Let's see. So Bienda for me is a 4, and 6 is an average. So Bienda for me is a 4. Distribution I thought was okay. You palm it into the back of your net, and you basically get a 4 straight away. Dorgu for me, I thought Dorgu was brilliant up and down all day. I think fantastic. Dorgu for me, I'd give Dorgu I'd be tempted to give Dorgu an 8. I think Dorgu was brilliant again today. Maybe Dorgu an 8, maybe Dorgu 7.5 today, but I think you could go probably 8 on that. Leewood says we need to go get Lemens or Martinez. Leewood, spot on, my friend. Spot on. Absolutely spot on. So Dorgu for me, 7.5. Luke Shaw, steady 6.5 today. You could argue 7, but I think Luke Shaw, I'm pleased for him. I'm still not convinced on him, but 6.5. I thought he was above average today. I thought he did some really, really good stuff. You could argue a 7 for him today, but I thought he was good. Arteta won today. How is he out of his depth? I don't think he is out of his depth, mate. I just don't think he's going to win the league. I mean, I personally don't think he's out of his depth. I just don't think he's going to win the league. I think he's in any other era, Arteta wins a league, but just not in this era. I just don't think he does. De Ligt for me, 8.5 for me. I thought De Ligt was magnificent today. Absolutely magnificent. He won everything, made Gyökeres, who European Golden Boot winner, look ordinary today. So De Ligt for me was an 8.5. Euro again, you could argue, I'd give Euro 7.5 today. You could argue that he was an 8. He's accomplished. So I'd go Luke Shaw 7, Dorgu 7.5, Luke Shaw 7. I'd give De Ligt an 8.5. Euro 7.5. The low for me was probably a 6. Maybe you can argue 5.5 or a 6 for me for him today. Defensively he's okay, but I just don't think he just looks right to me. So I'd give him a 6. And then we've got Casemiro again, 6 being the average. Give him a 6. I thought he looked okay today. Average performance, nothing spectacular. He looks leggy at times. Average 6. Bruno, I'd give him a steady 7. I thought he did some good things today. Again, this is just my opinion. I think you can argue players' cases today. But for me, Bruno is a steady. If I'm going to give Euro, who I thought had a good game, and Dorgu is 7.5. I think Bruno's 7. You could argue that he had a kind of a bit more of a disciplined performance today, but I'd give Bruno probably about a 7. I'd then go Cunha for me again. Cunha for me is an 8.5 as well. I think you could argue man of the match between him and yeah. I think at 8.5 for me, the way he picks up the ball is exciting. If Burmo looks, he's still. I'd give him a 7.5. I think 7.5. I think in Burmo, do you know? I'd give him Burma probably a 7. I think he's still got levels to go up. He's still got gears. His touch is phenomenal. He scares the crap out of defenders. He's physical. Imagine when he's fit. He's just going to be brilliant. So I'd give him probably a 7. I'd give him a 7.5 because I give Mason Mount a 7. I thought Mason Mount today was not an average performance. I don't know if he's got levels to go up. I don't know if his injury will allow him to go up to that. I was really impressed by Mount today. I thought Mason Mount was great. 7 from me. I'd give him Burmo. Was he as good as Mount? I think he was slightly better. You could argue 7.5 for Burmo, but Cunha for me was an 8.5. Ahmad, come on. I thought Ahmad 7 for me. Maybe you can knock him down for a couple of shots that he did. But again, probably a 7 for me. Ugarte for me, I'm just going to say it right now, he was a 4. Ugarte, he was terrible. I thought and that shot that he had, I thought he was taking the nick, to be honest with you. Ugarte for me was terrible. Absolutely awful. We just nothing at all. Shesko, come on, give him a 6 because he didn't really do much, didn't really have like a ton of time to do much, and he's a new signing. Maguire as well, give him a 6.5 even. He comes on, he tries to do stuff which I like, so probably a 6. I can't think who else came on. I think that was it, wasn't it? So I think other than a couple of 4s, I think you could go each way. The man of the match for me was a De Ligt, to be honest with you. I thought everything started from him. I thought he was a really good rock there. You could argue Cunha's case, you could argue Dorgu's case. I thought what I like already is that we can have a discussion with more than one person who's man of the match. That, in my opinion, let me know your scores on what you think. We need Belieber. I definitely agree with that. He got outplayed 15th place. He wants to win the Prem. He's not at his depth. He's just not quite elite. Chip plays. He got the job done. He did. Leewood, Cunha was good today. I was at the game. Oh, nice one. Positives and anything in terms of performance. Leewood, amazing, mate. It's interesting to know what you saw at the game as to what you saw on TV, because obviously on TV you kind of watch a game differently. I guess you can kind of see a little bit more in depth. But it'd be interesting to know how the crowd today. Were they kind of up for it today? I think it's really important on this channel, Lee, that we acknowledge the match-going fans. I think that's so important. That I think us as fans, I think we're all created equal, but I think match-going fans, you guys go week in, week out, home and away. You guys are there. And I think insight from you guys, I think, are probably one of the most important things. So let me know in the chat about how you felt the game was today, and kind of what the chatter was around you today. Delit Clamp Yokerez agreed, being a wee bit. Yeah, I agree. Andrew, yeah. Interesting opinion. They weren't great today, were they, Andrew? I mean, they weren't great today. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as that, but banter-wise, is cool, and high as well. Arsenal weren't great today. I mean, already, unless they buck up their game, City and Liverpool are going to be gone, aren't they? So, Mark plays out. Wes Belieber, our keepers are trash. I still think there's something in that deal. Do I think that? I think if we'd have got trashed today, I think possibly we would have gone out and spent whatever money as possible. I think Humland, at this point for me, I think the most realistic are Humland and Lemens or Emi Martinez. I think those two are the ones potentially. We definitely need another one in the midfield. I believe he was off. He's not coming. Tulip, I think so. I think that was pretty much put to bed today. I think I saw that one, but I still think there's tiny little something in the ether, um, maybe, but pretty much you're right. But let's just keep a little bit of hope on that one. We either need a goalkeeper for Fulham, or at least put Heaton and go. Yeah, Neil, we do, mate. I think somebody said it on here that Bayinder's going to get a slap down after this match, and I think I agree with that one. I really do. We are special though. You're a 15th place team given the lemon. Prohita, mate, you're just look. You're an Arsenal fan on a United fan chat, mate. You played terrible today. You won the game, right? Hands up. What can we say to that? You won a game. If we say anything else other than you won, what can we do? But you were terrible. And Arteta, to be fair, in a different era, he probably does go and win the league. But he ain't winning the league, mate. He's just not. And Arsenal don't look special. Arsenal, I could say something mean here, but I'm not going to, because that isn't my style. But Arsenal ain't winning the league, mate, unless City and Liverpool fall away, which they will not do. Arsenal are not winning the league. They're just not going to. They're just not. You can already tell it. Like, we can already tell that we're not finishing the top three this year. Arsenal need to accept this year that they are not going to win the league. They're just not going to. That team is not good enough. You know, it's not. You won today, but it should feel like a loss. You've got 3 points, great, but he's not special. You're not special. I like Arsenal. You know, I've got nothing against them, but to say Arsenal are special, I think it's deluded, mate. And particularly when you come onto this channel, you know, I respect people's opinions, and I respect your opinion, and if that's what you're saying, but you come to the wrong place to give that opinion, and there's no point in trying to argue that case in here, because you're just not going to win that battle, my friend. We need to believe in now. Ugarte is awful. Min Hussein says, excuse me, could I argue that you say you could argue a few times? I'll say argue as many times as I like, mate. I'll say I could argue, and then I'll argue, and then I won't argue, because guess what? It's my channel. You guys can say what you want. I need to put a point across and say, at the end of the day, Min, it's important for us to debate. Okay, I'll say debate and argue a point, right? But if you don't like it, feel free to go elsewhere. It's like when people moan when I keep saying wing back, right? If I'm talking about a wing back, I'm talking about having an argument with somebody, or arguing your case, or debating your case. How else am I supposed to say it? So if it's something that you don't like, feel free to leave. Lee Wood, I'm positive after seeing how we played in terms of performance. It's going to be good singing. Lee, that's fantastic, mate. I really want the Matchgoing fans this year to have something to sing about. You know, please let me know, you know, what it's all like out there, because I definitely want to try to get there this season. But what I want is, I just want the ground rocking. I want us to keep singing songs. You know, that is what we need, my friend. You know, I really hope this season you guys are going to be singing away. And Burma create more chances than Cunha. I'd give him Burma. Again, I think we all watch football in a different way. You can have your opinion on either. I thought in Burma was good, but I just thought Cunha, for me, that run through the middle, he just looks a bit sharper. I do, but in Burma, I think it's great. 4 is very generous. We have more impressive cabinet than Man City. Have you got a treble? When was the last time you won the league? And I'm not disrespecting you, but you are making yourself look a bit silly here. You know, have you won a Champions League? No. When was the last time you won a league? City, I'm not the biggest fan of City, but they won four and a bounce. I can't believe you're making me defend them here. They won a Champions League, they won a treble, they've won four leagues on the bounce. What have Arsenal done? Have Arsenal won Champions League? Nope. And this is not a dig at you, my friend, but you're making yourself sound a little bit silly. But I'm just trying to help you out here, mate. Just making yourself look a little bit silly. Midfield is dead. I don't disagree. We are not bottlers. Liverpool and City are incredible. If we played United every week, we would. You are bottlers, mate. You are the perennial. You bottle it more times than a than a milkman, mate. You bottle it. When was the last time you won a league? Like, you've had chances to win leagues, and you bottle it. You really do bottle it. And you're trying to argue points on a United fan channel, and you're welcome here. And I think we're all happy. We're all happy for you to be here. But you're trying to argue a point where I can already come out of some stuff, mate. But you just keep at it, mate. You just keep at it. The low's awful, Marco. I agree. What was the score? It was 1-0 to Arsenal. Arsenal got outplayed, seriously got outplayed today, but they still won. Yeah, your best 3-year spell, our worst, and we've won more trophies than you. I agree. What year did you win last? Yeah, exactly. He's just legged it. I'd love to play a condom every other week. Maybe you don't. uh, what did you win with Arteta? You are a United channel because we are large, the biggest. Exactly, mate. Exactly. You're on probably one of the best channels now as well. This chat is amazing. Don't even mention Spurs. They still won a European title. I'm pretty hard to watch when the ball was crossed over to the box. No United players. We need more intensity. Mistakes were made few and far between and very visible. That's improved. I agree with you. I think that's a very, very sensible comment to make, and I think you're right, my friend. I think you're absolutely right. Well, we're not letting you walk on us here, mate. Exactly. Even West Ham had more European trophies than Arsenal. Oh, I love it. I love it. Go and watch cricket, especially with the likes of deluded Arsenal fans. Always the bridesmaids, never the brides thinking they'd win the league. Liverpool, Guehi, Belieber, Isaac. I don't think you need Belieber. Belieber goes to City, I think. Humlin's literally Casemiro. So, yeah, Tulip, I mean, Leeward, the ground was fully behind team today, and the team worked so hard and off the ball. Cunha was looking good and Ben was looking good, but still needs extra shots. Lee, I think, mate, you summed it up well there, buddy. I think it's interesting what you see at ground and what we see on the screen. It kind of matches up as well. So I think you're right, spot on. I think they do need sharp. So imagine what it's going to be like when they're in full flight, in full form. It's going to be amazing times for you, buddy. You never are rivals. Get in line, Liverpool. Exactly. Arsenal are not our rivals, are they? You need Blue Brother Chelsea. Joel, Homeland and Wharton is off the table. You cannot get either one of them in the transfer window anyway. I can see Chelsea getting Deadwood troubles, who are on 6 and 8 contracts. Exactly. I don't know who we go for. We might be forced into the Belieber deal, to be honest with you. I just don't know. It's flipping at the thing. You ain't flipping that playing the victim card. He's going to play the victim, isn't he? Because he's an Arsenal fan. Even going a goal down, the crowd was fully behind. Again, I think that because the team seemed to work hard today, yeah. Dude, you look like a greedy pot of. Dude, you look like a greedy pot of greed Jew. Snotger. Don't understand, mate. Don't understand what that even means, my friend. You just make yourself sound like a right idiot, to be honest with you. But you crack 'em. You crack on. Arsenal are too poor to win the league. I agree. Go back to AFTV. You need a parking lot. United better play Arsenal. Exactly. Nobody's is upsetting other than you because your team disappointed. You are trash. Go back to AFTV. United fans are calm. Exactly. Knock yourself out with this. Exactly. Rubber. We played against probably the best defence in the league. They parked the bus in the second half. It shows how much. Exactly, Rubber. I can't agree with you more. We felt great knowing your trash team today. Cunha is an incredible player. Steve C, I agree with you, my friend. Corner FC, modern Stoke. Oh, you lot are making me laugh tonight. Delic should be the future captain. Spot on, J Red. 100% agree with you, my friend. Delic for me is brilliant. It's the first game. It's the first game. Corner can't even got past together. Embarrassing. What points you on about? Delic was a monster today. Oh, he was, mate. He absolutely was. Chifa, don't let him wind you up, mate. Just you are better than that, my friend. Just don't let him wind you up. I know it's hard. Don't let these idiots bring you down to their level, mate. You know you're better than that. Legend of the chat, mate. Don't let these wallies wind you up, mate. Tulip can block you. Exactly. More recently, I live to see have fun on AFTV. Oh, I love it. You guys in the chat tonight are legends. Exactly. It felt playing against Stoke today. It's worth to note. It's worth to note that the last 3 guys Arsenal scored against us are on corners. Exactly. Making me feel a wee bit better hearing that. Yeah, Chief, you know that, mate. You're an absolute legend of the chat, mate. You're better than all that, mate. You don't need to respond to these wallies. Look, it's Sunday night, right? People have got work tomorrow. I'm on holiday. There's a pool behind me, right? There's a pool there. I'm happy. I'm happy because I'm chatting to you legends here. Chatting here with you guys is a joy. I cannot specify that enough. Even if you're not a fan of the channel, you don't like me, this chat, I promise you, is some of the best that you'll be people like Chief Herb, legend of the chat, passionate about this community. Tulip, Joel, passionate about this club, this community that we've built together. It's not just mine. I did a stream today. Not many people were on that stream today, but we don't care. This is what we do on here. We this community is fantastic. So what I will say is that next couple of days it's going to be an interesting one. Billy Clark said Arsenal was overall the better team. Oh, Billy, I love it, mate. Billy, do you know what I love, right? Is that I've got people that come on streams like this and they think they're really clever, right? And they think that you do know that this is not like AFTV. This is not like some of the other channels that you get where people will start screaming and shouting. And if that's your opinion, Billy, mate, if you watch football with your eyes shut, fair enough. If you're an Arsenal fan, great. If you're a City fan, fantastic. But you've come into the wrong chat, my friend, and you're not going to get it from me. I know, Billy, obviously, mate. But again, the problem is, Billy, is that you can't see context, right? And tonight we've had some absolute morons in here. But what you won't get in here, Billy, my friend, is you won't get some wally like me shouting at you, calling you, whatever, mate. Because I think people are entitled to their opinions, my friend. Yeah. So I think what we're going to see this week is we're going to see some panic buys. I think we're going to see a keeper come in because we have to. Euro is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I do think he's a really, really good signing. So I think this week we're going to see some panic buys. I do think we have the stats to back up my statement. We've got a rubbish keeper Kuno wants to buy. Agree, Joel. Agree, mate. Agree. I think Joe. I think you've called some of this. So again, another legend of the chat. Joel's very good on. I think it was Joel that come out with the Mason Mountain stuff. To be fair, I think it was Joel and maybe Niche Fan come out of it as well. The pair of you were saying about Mason Mount. So go listen to the chat. So I'll come back on when, if anything does happen, if anything does break, if I hear any news. I don't know where we go from here. We do need a keeper. We do need another midfielder. Casemiro isn't it. Ugarte is terrible. Mainu's not going to get a game, so we need to do something. So, guys, thank you for the chat. I can't believe it's an hour and 25 minutes. Brilliant, mate. Just amazing chats tonight. So many of you are in the chat, and I can't thank you all, but legends of the chat. All of you. What time is it here? Just gone quarter past 12 here. I might jump back in the pool because it's so warm here. So hopefully goalkeeper news, hopefully CM news. The more Mason Mount play, the better will become. I think you're right on Mason Mount. Let's hope, eh? So have a good rest of your evening. It's Monday tomorrow. If you're on work, I'm still not in work yet. I'm going to be here for a couple of days yet, but I'll jump back on if I hear anything else. Take care of yourselves. Do you know United streamer called the Casual Fan? Jacob Sito? I don't, mate. No, I don't. I don't, my friend. I don't. Good night, Jason. No, I don't know him, buddy. If I just do my thing. But if you want to give me some context on that one, then if it's a case of you want me to contact him or do something with him or whatever, or her, let me know, and I can always try to do some stuff with some people. Have a fantastic rest of your night, evening. If you work tomorrow, commiserations to you lot. But I will. Good night, buddy. Good night, and I'll see you all tomorrow. I don't care about United, but you seem very chill. I am, mate. Thank you very much. Welcome to the chat. Fans are welcome here, but it's cool. Enjoy the rest of your night. Whatever you do, need to wake up in 6 hours. Got to draw a 14x6 indoor garden tomorrow. I've got to jump in that pool tomorrow, mate. It's the largest construction I've ever drawn. Joel, good luck, mate. Good luck with that, mate. That sounds like a stressful day. So make sure you get to sleep, because you do not want to mess that up. You certainly do not want to mess that up. So I'm gonna leave you go, Joel. I'm gonna leave you on that. Joel is going to be up in 6 hours to do a drawing for an indoor garden tomorrow. God, wake up, Arsenal fan banters. Exactly. You're awesome, man. Cheers. Thank you so much, guys. But Joel, go to sleep. Everyone go to sleep. I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, and catch up tomorrow, guys. See you later.